All right. Welcome, officially, everyone. For those of you who don't know me, I am on Jamie's account here. I'm just running the calls because everyone's on the cruise, which we will all be on where is it next year? Punta Cana. So we'll all be there next year. This is the Power 30 Level Up call on Monday, the 25th of March. So Denise and I were actually just kind of chatting before we hit record here, and we were talking about the team call tonight. So yes, there is a team call. Just a question about it with everyone being on the cruise. If you didn't see it in the Crush It update, there is a team call. I'm going to be running it, and we're going to be going through the business activity tracker. So we're actually going to do a full power hour. So we will be working. We're going to go through, it won't just be a Q&A, it won't just be a learning. We'll actually be like on our phones. So make sure your phone's charged while we're chatting now so that we're ready for the call. But it should be good. We'll dive into it. And if anyone is really looking to push for the end of the month and you still need to hit Success Club, I would recommend that you honestly rewatch the call tonight. That's going to happen every single day and just work along with it. And that'll just help keep you like kind of guided within an hour, set aside an hour and just do that every day. And you should be good to really start a lot of conversations and hopefully get some of those share cards out to get you guys to SC this month. But I will stop talking and I'll throw it out to you guys. Do you guys have any questions? Struggles, wins, concerns? How is everyone with Ultimate Portion Fix? Did everyone start today? Just unmute yourself if you want to go ahead and say anything because everyone's muted. Y'all are so quiet tonight. Nothing? Nothing right now?
I think with the portion fix, like I feel struggling a little, I think, because you take away the whole Beachbody on Demand and they only get the 2 programs, which in some ways it's good because I think it simplifies, especially if somebody's new to working out, but it's hard that they've got to pay so much more, I think, for like the containers or BOD. Like it just, I don't know. So I feel like I'm really having to analyze like what would be a better fit for the person if, and really get into like, is it more nutrition or is it the workouts? Like, because it's just hard to have the way it's separate. I know that you can add extra, but it's still like more money. I think I get resistance a little bit.
Okay. I would throw it out there that for me, when I look at it with a client, I come at it first of what are you struggling with? I need to know what you're struggling with in order for me to know what problem I can solve. And if I don't know what you're struggling with, then I don't have clarity on what I can offer. So I need to find out what are you struggling with? And in that, what are you struggling with? Are you able to work out right now? And if they're able to work out, then I go right away with the BOD option because it's amazing. But if they can't work out, then I flip it right over to the nutrition side. And I start talking immediately about nutrition. And now what I have to figure out is, do they want 2B mindset or do they want Ultimate Portion Fix? And when you really look at, okay, what are their concerns? What do they need? Then I can look at what I have as tools and resources and solutions to be able to say, okay, you know what? I think this program, this would be my recommendation for you. And if you're struggling on what to provide, just ask a few more questions. I feel like maybe it's just asking those questions of like, do you feel like you struggle with your nutrition? Maybe they don't feel like they do, but they're still not losing weight. And maybe the question becomes, okay, if you're eating really well, then let's look at doing just the workouts for now.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I have, especially now with Ultimate Portion Fix, I'm kind of looking at it for anyone. It's the workouts and nutrition. Like you're either getting just Beachbody on Demand or you're getting Beachbody on Demand with 2B mindset or with Ultimate Portion Fix.
Right.
And
it is.
Go ahead.
Well, and like you were saying, asking more questions, because my husband, he's so funny. I was doing a voice note or whatever, and he's like, you just asked a closed-ended question. You can't do that. And I'm like, oh my God, well, how would I ask, because sometimes I don't catch myself. So I'm like, I need to have like go-to messages that help me navigate, I think, the kind of like guide the conversation almost, so that I constantly am having those open-ended and not like a simple yes or no. And then I run into, like, we hit a wall, like, okay, how does the conversation continue? Look at Tim, he's going to my daughter's game. I'm busted.
You can jump back in if you need to. But I will say this. The best thing that I have learned to do is stumble and fall over all of my words in all of my messages. And at the end of it, I ask myself, what's a better question I could have asked? And I write it down. And keep a note section on your phone of like great questions to ask. Or if you asked a question and you got a really great response, or they really opened up to you, write that question down. So that becomes something in your arsenal that you can really start to use time and time again. And the more you say it out loud, the more it will just come naturally in those voice notes. So just ask yourself, what question could I have asked that was better than what I did ask? And then you'll just start to build a list of questions. And if anyone has really great questions that you have asked, pop them in the chat so that we can kind of share those with people now. Even, if you have a question that you ask somebody that is a really great question, just write it in the chat there for everyone so we can kind of see it. The one thing that I loved from Keisha's call last week, and her question was, what's working for you right now and what's not working for you? I honestly have been doing that like all week long, and it's been awesome. So ask yourself what questions you could ask would be my advice. Yeah, you're welcome. Any other questions?
Hi, Shar.
Carol.
How are you, hon?
Good. How are you?
Good. I do have a question.
What's up?
How does the what is it called, Linktree?
Yep.
How does that work? How do you where do you set up? Like, I've never looked at the app or anything or whatever you have to do for it. Yep. And like when how I've gone on people's places and I've gone and tapped to see where it goes to. Like, how do you get those like, do you do it in like Google Forms, or do you how do you how do you get linked to those, and what are those in there? I don't know.
Okay. So this can go like a multitude of different ways, but Linktree in itself essentially allows you to have like a website within Instagram. So Linktree is a really great tool to use. What it ends up doing is, if you don't have a website, which if you're a newer coach, I don't even think it's something that should be on your radar of trying to build right away, then you can use Linktree. And in Linktree, so it's a website. It's actually linktr.ee is the website. So if you type that in, it'll come up, and you can search tutorials on how to set it all up, but essentially what you're doing is, it's called adding buttons. And when you add a button, that becomes what you see on someone's Linktree when you click to their platform. So you physically have to add the button in order for it to go anywhere. So I'm just going to show you a quick example here of what I mean by buttons. So this is my Linktree. So these black bars, those are called buttons. Now, each one of those, I suggest on your Linktree that you don't have 15 things here, because if someone goes to your Linktree and they see so much information, they're going to get overwhelmed and they're not going to click anywhere. Especially if you say, hey, go check out the link in my bio, they're going to go to the link in your bio and they're going to be like, oh, okay, now what do I do? Like, I don't know where to go. And it becomes overwhelming. So try to keep this fairly simple. Like 3 to 5 is really what I would suggest. I only have 3 on there. I used to have like 10. So I was like, oh my gosh, I have all this stuff that I want to give everybody. But I kind of reeled that in. So for me, I have 10 to 20 pounds to lose, because I talk about virtual boot camps all the time. I want to be a health and fitness coach, which is my coach application. And then I have a free gratitude journal. I actually created a free gratitude journal. So this is like my freebie. So this is how I try to get people to come and link or click on my link tree. Oh, I have a freebie to give you. So click on this, because when they click on it, they're going to see the other two. And maybe the other two might pique your interest a little bit, right? So in terms of you've created these buttons, now where do they go? So when you create a button, you have to link it to an external website. So that website could be a Google form, which is a coach application maybe, or an application to a virtual bootcamp or a talent group, whatever you call it. That could be a link to your Facebook page even. Come follow me on Facebook. Or if you have a free Facebook group, it could just link over to Facebook, and it could say, hey, come follow me over here. I share really great tips. I run like, you can talk on Instagram about you run a 3-day focus. Maybe you have a 3-day focus coming up in a free group. Or if you put them into another free group, like if it's Kim's free group, whoever's group it is, you could put that in there as well. You could create a landing page through MailChimp, and if you have a MailChimp account, then you can create a landing page, and that landing page could be an offer of like the free gratitude email or an application form. So I'm just going to mute here. So it could be like a multitude of things, really. Mine, I created an application for a virtual bootcamp. So mine, it actually has a virtual bootcamp. Sorry, my screen's really bright there. And it talks about like what's in the bootcamp. And then there's like an actual form that you apply. So, I mean, it really depends on what you want to do, but I would keep it really business related. So one would be something about a challenge group or what you have upcoming, or maybe it's the nutrition program, about coaching opportunity. And I would do something for sure about a freebie, some sort of free content, because people love free stuff, right? Whether it's a free download, I know there's a ton of great free downloads in Crush It Fitness in the files section. Okay. Maybe just download one of those. And you can actually just this might be a little more complicated, but on MailChimp, you could create a landing page where they just says like, enter your email to receive this freebie, whatever it is. Maybe it's the Love Yourself guide or the Sugar Detox guide. And when they enter their email, you now get their email, which is great. And you can connect with them later on through their email. And then it automatically would email them whatever freebie it is that you have. So I know that piece is maybe a little more intricate and a little more advanced. And you can dive into tutorials on MailChimp on how to do all of that. That's what I would do. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
I'm gonna go in. I'm gonna troll your page.
Sure.
Okay, so I'll get some ideas and stuff, and then I'll see it. You know, I'm finding, I don't know why, but I'm finding it a challenge to do some of those things. I don't know why I have no idea. I could be, but the one call that we had a while ago, the girl, no, actually I found it on the Champions page, and she went through whatever we were talking about. She went through, explained how to do it, and she goes, okay, go do it, and then come back. If you have any issues, you know, message it to me and we'll answer it right now. So she sat there and waited while we did things and stuff like that. I almost need like tutorials like that these days. I don't know what's going on, but I'm going to go and search your thing and then do that. Yeah. Thanks very much.
And that's the type of stuff that you can ask questions in any of the chats too, right? If someone's done it or have found a great tutorial, that they can send you a video for it and walk you through it, or just connect with your upline coach and say, hey, this is what I'm trying to do. Do you have information for me on how to do it? Another thing that I was just thinking about that actually might be a great idea, especially because for those of you who might not have a website or might not know how to set up a Google form, the whole idea of like a freebie is to get an email, really, so that you can have that contact information. But another really great thing that you could do is actually linking a video. So you could link a YouTube video And if you link a YouTube video on Linktree on the website, it'll ask for the URL. So you just copy and paste from YouTube. And it could be about coaching opportunity maybe. Or it could be a video you created about what is a virtual boot camp. What's your next offer? What are you inviting people to? And it could be a video of you. And you could upload that to YouTube, which is pretty simple. You can upload it to YouTube, and then you could use that link and put it right into your link tree. If you keep it under 10 minutes, you can upload it to your IGTV as well. So just a few things on how you can use one video a bunch of different ways.
That's a great idea. Thanks.
Does anyone have any other questions? Does anyone else have Linktree? And like, what do you have in your Linktree? Maybe you can throw it in the chat or just unmute yourself and let us know some ideas of what you have. If it's different than what I already talked about. Shaylin, you said you had Linktree? You're typing, aren't you? I just saw you down. I was like, you're typing.
I just have it linked to my free group on Facebook.
Perfect.
I put it in there, and then I was trying to think of what I use. Like, there's a form to fill out for if they're interested in, say, a camp or in coaching. I'm just trying to think of what I connected it to, but I can't. But it's Miguel had did a video on it with all the different questions that you can answer to kind of gauge where people are at.
Yep.
So that's what I did. I just have 3 things on it. It's really simple. But it did take me a good solid 3 or 4 hours to actually figure out how to use it, because it was a learning curve. You got to put the work in to figure it out. So
yeah.
For sure.
It can take the time. But if you take the time you set it up, then it's set up.
Yeah,
and it's done and it's good to go, right?
Easy, but the initial figuring out, it took some time. But
yeah,
it's a learning curve.
I love it. Any other questions, you guys? How are invites going? How's follow-up going? Are we getting stuck anywhere? Nothing from you, Carrie? You guys, has everyone hit SC 5 this month? No.
No, I haven't.
Okay. Do we have a plan to finish off the month? How are we feeling? Are you guys feeling defeated knowing that it's March 25th and you haven't hit SC5? Or are you feeling like you've had a lot of engagement over the month and you're ready to close things out for the last couple of days of the month?
Can I go?
Yep.
I am 100% defeated.
Okay.
SC10 last month, and it was it seemed very easy. And I kind of started off the month running. And it's gotten nowhere, and now I'm just oh.
Do you feel like Team Cup helped you in February and you don't have that extra push? Or do you feel like there's been a swing? You're on mute. Sorry, you're on mute.
Team Cup helped. We still have our Team Cup chat going with the ladies that I was with.
Cool.
So that's helpful. But I just found with doing the UPF videos, that took up, because I still work full time, so that took up a lot of my time where I would have been inviting, and by the time that was done, it was oh my God, I'm exhausted. I physically can't do anymore. So just my life balance has been off, and I feel it's coming across in my actions as well. So that's
Don't feel alone on that, honestly. I was feeling a lot of the same. I felt like we had a lot of hours to watch in videos. And I think for me especially, I underestimated the time I was taking to watch all these videos versus the time I was putting into my business. And now we're at March 25th and it was kind of oh goodness. Now what are we going to do? But I think if you for the last week of the month, if we can really shift the focus back over to some of the invites and maybe some of the follow-ups, right? Like, I'm sure you have a ton of follow-up from February. Like SC10, that's a really great month. So I'm sure there was a lot of no's that you found in SC10. It's a new month. Go ahead and invite them again, right? Like go ahead and reach out to those people. And maybe that's a way that you feel like you can really dive in with an invite right away that is to people you've already spoken to. And it's not so much just like that kind of like warm market or cold invite even, or having to like start fresh building a relationship with somebody. Dive into some follow-ups and maybe that'll help. But SC10's huge. Another thing that I would say is everyone that you signed up last month, hopefully they're getting some results. Hopefully they're feeling a little bit better. Maybe ask them if they can refer a couple people to you. And I know, what's that?
I've never done that, so.
Okay. Referrals are like the scariest thing on earth after invites, and I don't know why, but they don't have to be. They are a really great way to build your business. And honestly, it's such an easy tool to help keep that momentum going because you have people who are in their first month, who are loving it, who are feeling amazing off Shakeology, who are getting into a routine, who want to talk about what they're doing. And they probably already are talking about what they're doing, but they likely won't send you a referral unless you ask for it. And I 2 months ago, I actually reached out to 5 of my girls that were in my talent group. I put them in a separate chat. They're just clients. They are customers. They weren't even discount coaches at the time. And I said, hey guys, I just want to be completely transparent with you, but I'm pushing for a new goal in my business this month. And if you could all help me out, I would really appreciate it. And all I'm asking is that you share this with a couple of girlfriends or ask a couple of girlfriends to join us. And as soon as I sent that message out, honestly, all 5 of them were like, yeah, of course. Like, what do you need me to send out? Like, what can I ask? And we ended up getting like 4 additional clients from that. And that was just one thing that I'd never thought to do before. But if I didn't do it, I wouldn't have hit SC the following month. And I ended up hitting it because of all the referrals. So referrals are a really great way, especially at the end of the month, to try and dive into that. So hopefully that will help.
Did you encourage them to, like, if they didn't want to put them under themselves, that you took them on?
Sorry, say that again.
So did you encourage them? So when for a referral, like, would you be like, oh, well, you could do it? Or did you just...
Yeah, that's exactly what it ends up happening. So you ask them for the referrals and then you say, okay, you've got 2 girlfriends that are interested. Before they sign up, are you, like, especially if it's somebody that you've been talking to about the coaching opportunity, or maybe you've never presented it before, but now is the perfect time to have that conversation. You know, I'd love to have you a part of my team. Like, are you sure you don't want to we can sign them up under you? Maybe you can get your Shakeology for free next month with the commissions that you earn. Have some of those conversations and see where they go. But it might be a really great way to turn a current client into a discount coach, which potentially could be a business builder for you. Yeah, that's a great idea. Carissa, you have a suggestion? Can I call you out on the call?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, so I signed up one of my good friends this week, and she's a teacher. And so she just happened to put up a little flyer in the teacher's lounge and asked, you know, who wanted to join with her, who wanted to get healthy, who wanted to get fit, who wanted to reach a couple of goals. She said, just meet me. She didn't give too many details, but just meet me in the teacher's lounge. And she signed up 4 people this week just by doing that. So, you know, and she's on here too. She's hiding, but she's on here.
Where are you hiding, girl? That's crazy good.
She just got done working out. So, but it's awesome. I mean, she just reached out, you know, very simple, and she's just learning as she goes, but she's doing, and it was all by asking, you know, just asking people, inviting people. So yeah, she did great.
That's amazing. Honestly, I have to say, it's something about teachers. because I just signed a new coach actually. She sent out invites this weekend and she was like, Shalene, I haven't even got to the training. I have 3 girls to sign up. What do I do? And I'm like, what? Like, how are you doing this? But it's like diving into your workplace is a great place to start because that is a hot market. Like that's not even
it is. And I had a coach reach out to me today and she said, I'm afraid because I work at a private school, they don't have a lot of money. I said, but people will invest in their health. They really will. That's something that's important for them, their whole family. So, the biggest lesson I've learned over the last 3 months is that people you think that would never join are the people that you plant the seeds and they come. They watch you, they watch your story, they watch your transformation, and they seek you out. So don't ever count anyone out.
I love that. Don't. It's so true. And know that they are watching. Like as soon as you send an invite, any type of communication, even if it's just initiating conversation, they begin watching you. And it might take them a month. It might take them 4 months. It might take them 7 months. It might take them 8 months. Who knows how long that is? But they will come around when they're ready. I would just say, and I've heard this kind of come up a couple of times, even on my own team, but even just in this call tonight, the whole concept of like prejudging people on what you think they can or cannot afford. And I know it's hard sometimes to look at something because I do it all the time and I'm like, I would never spend $599 on that package. So why would anybody else? For whatever it might be, not just like Beachbody, but anything. And as soon as you remove that, you become a lot more open to just offering. And when you just look at it as you're offering the solutions to any of the problems that they have or they've expressed to you, and you remove the price tag from it, just offer it because you never know. Sometimes we don't think that it's going on like the 186 package, but you might be able to like add on 5 things and now it becomes like a $300 package. And not that it's just about the money, but it's just about providing those solutions to people, right? So I would encourage just to try and like not have that conversation or have that like preconceived notion in your head too. What do you got to say?
Oh, you thought I was going to say something? I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Yes.
What's up?
What's up? Hey, everyone. No, I just wanted to comment on that last thing you said. One person I connected with, she said, Batu, I'm waiting for my money from taxes and I'm going to join. And said, I'm starting my new job in 2 weeks, but I can't wait to join you guys because I've been watching you for a couple of weeks now. And she's my ex-colleague, but they were let go from the previous job. And she said, I'm waiting for my tax money that I want to pay for this. So yeah, I think assuming that the person you look at, you think they might not be able to pay this is a wrong assumption. Really not to do that. It was just an example I just thought of. So
yeah, and I think that goes both ways, right? Not to assume that people can't afford it and not to assume people can afford it. It really is just about providing what we have as a solution so that they can decide, okay, in 3 months, this will work really great because I can save up $100 every single month and I can get the package I really want, or whatever that the case might be for them. But try and like kind of take, and I know it can be hard because we look at the packages and I know there's a lot of conversations even in the chats about what's the best way to do everything. And I feel like there's some hesitation sometimes to offer that bigger package, but don't hesitate on that. Just offer it and then have that honest conversation with people about what works for them. And they'll be honest with you whether or not it's something that can fit in their budget. So sometimes it's a hard conversation, but it's an important one to have too. Okay, you guys, does anybody have any other questions? I'm good for like 10 more minutes, but if we don't have any more questions, we can wrap this up before the new coach call. Okay, anybody else have any ideas on how to push for the rest of the month?
I was just going to ask that.
Okay, for more ideas. Does anybody have a plan before I dive into anything? No? Okay. Go for
I
it. Oh, go ahead.
wait, you're gonna dive into something. I'm
No,
sorry.
go ahead.
No, I actually created a Google Doc today, and I live in a community. And you know this, Charlene. I've mentioned this many times, but this time, rather than just kind of throwing the email out there and waiting for RSVP, I just created a Google Doc there's about 320 units. I'm still like every week trying to get people to join that, but the answer to your question, what you guys are planning for the rest of the month to crush it, is really that. It's a sign-in sheet, and rather than just doing a Sunday, I've kind of allowed people to choose from 6:30 a.m., 7 and 7:30 a.m. throughout the week as well to come and work out with me at the gym of the community, so that I can at least. And then he wants to say something. Yes, Liam.
Hi, Liam.
There you go. So yeah, I just created that doc, and hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some more people.
Awesome.
Yeah. If you're living in a community, it's a good idea. People are interested always.
I love that. And I love taking it off of social media. While we build our business on social media, we do have people in our lives, just open that conversation up with them. Who do you see every day? Who have you not invited? I know there's people that are in my warm market that I haven't invited yet. So who are those people? And that would be my first thing, is write down a list and then go ahead and invite those people. Call them, send them a text, get off of Facebook Messenger even, and really dive into those conversations with people and be like I said, be open and transparent about it. And you can even say, I'm pushing for something really great, like a really great goal in my business right now. And now is like a really great time for you to join with us. Are you interested right now? Is this good timing for you? Or would you rather one in May? Right? Having that type of conversation with people could really help. So one thing is to talk to people who are not on social media that you see every day. Another idea is really following up with everyone from Team Cup, because I know everyone pushed really, really hard in February. So where's your list from February, or go back through your Messenger, your DMs, whatever platform you're using, and start messaging those people. Another really great tip is when you are messaging, you can actually see who's active on DMs, and you can see who's active on Facebook Messenger, because it'll tell you those active people. Start messaging those ones first, because they're online. So you might be able to get them a little bit quicker than someone who maybe is offline, because maybe that person offline doesn't check their messages for 3 days. So start with the ones that are active, and hopefully you can initiate a lot more conversations. But I think follow-up is huge, especially for the end of the month. But the biggest thing above all of that is what are you inviting to? Do you guys have that one thing or those two things that you're inviting to? What are those things? Because without that, I find a lot of the conversations get really fluffy and really airy, and it's hard to really narrow in and really compress the timeline in which you need someone to purchase a challenge pack, in which they need to actually start so that they can get in on your boot camp that is starting on April 1st. So if you guys are starting the new 21-day fix, if you're going to do that on April 1st, although most of us opened up a challenge group this week for Ultimate Fortune Fix, don't be afraid to just keep pushing this week for brand new 21-day fix on Monday, and flip your challenge guide around a little bit, right? And do the workouts first and add the nutrition later. Or they could be doing the workouts as they're learning about the nutrition with the videos. And then in week 3, they could actually start applying everything that they're learning with the nutrition to go along with the workouts. So there's an idea just to switch it up. And that way you've got something to invite to. And I also think there's a coach sneak peek happening this weekend with Crush It. So there's another invite for you guys to have. Will it turn into a challenge pack right away? Maybe, maybe not, but it's a great way to lead with your invites to the coach sneak peek and then to whatever virtual bootcamp you've got going on. So I would definitely do your follow-ups. I think is key at this point in the game, but I would do voice notes with my follow-ups too. Oh, someone just put something in the chat. But voice notes really make it really it just ups the game for me, and it makes it that personal touch. people connect with me that much more. And I get a way higher response when I send a voice note than I do just like a copy and paste. So maybe switch it up. If you haven't done voice notes, you could try that. Sorry, I have a message here in the chat. It's just me though, so I'm just gonna read it and then get back to you guys here for a second. You have a private, okay, sorry. Someone has a private group, they said, and they have like 100 people in it. And it's on Facebook, and they just post twice a day. So it's like a free group. Sorry, I'm just gonna.
Okay, so it's me. So I just started out with, because I know when you're on Facebook, like random people get your messages here and there. So I thought, well, I would feed into these people continuously. And through that, you know, just posting something inspirational, posting a recipe, groceries, just different things. It's gotten, you know, it's gotten really big, and people are so encouraged. And each month I have more and more people just reaching out like, okay, I'm ready. And so that's just something. I started off simple, and now I pre-post all of my morning posts Sunday night, all of my 11 o'clock posts Sunday night. So it's done. And everything just goes out throughout the week. And then the women are just feeding on, you know, like off of the recipes, and, oh, I needed that encouragement today. And so that's where I'm getting, because I work in a small office, and endodontist office. So we don't have a lot of people there. And so that's how I've reached a lot of people, is through that one little market.
Cool. So you're essentially running a free group then, but you're in there every day.
And ongoing, yes.
Okay. So that's a great idea. And if you don't have a free group, it's not too late to run like a 2-day focus even. And you can throw that up on your social media, try to get a couple people into your 2-day focus on something that really hits the mark with ultimate portion fix. So maybe do this, you could do a sugar detox even. You could talk about family meals, or planning with family or kids nutrition, struggling to get your kids eating. You talk about any of that type of stuff, even self-love. I know Kim did a great one. It was a 3-day focus on self-love. So there's still time left. If you wanted to run a quick focus, you could do a free group there to do it. But I think at the end of the month now, my focus would really be on initiating those connections with people through your follow-ups and just inviting everyone. If you are in your Success Club system, which I'm going to go through on the team call, so I won't dive into it here, but really just diving into like section 2 on here and making sure you're consistent with this every single day for the rest of the month. And just know that, like, if you've been consistent all month, and exactly to like Carissa's point, you've been so consistent in this group that people trust you, because it's the whole thing of they have to like you, they have to know who you are before they trust you, before they actually join you. So you've just been so consistent that people now trust you, that you're going to show up and that you are true to your word. So if you guys have been really consistent on social media, I think that's the biggest thing. Just show up on social media with that invite, and pairing those two will hopefully get you guys some of the results that you're looking for the rest of the month. But I think it's all in the follow-ups, especially at the end of the month. Is everyone just feeling like you are kind of stuck in the mud and you're not doing anything because you're so overwhelmed by all of it? I'm getting a couple laughs, a couple head nods. So yeah. Yeah, honestly, just kind of like try and push all of that out for now, and know that you have been consistent, you've been showing up, you've been doing such amazing training. Like, start sharing some of the stuff that you've learned. You've been watching all these videos with Ultimate Portion Fix, right? Start sharing some of that, and now pair it with the invite. Add so many polls to your Instagram stories, reach out to the people who are watching all of your stories, and just dive into those conversations in the DMs to see if you can't get a couple people to join you for April. Make sure you pick a start date so they know what they're joining. Any last questions before we wrap up? No, everyone's good. Okay, guys, we have the new coach call that is starting in 15 minutes at 8. And then we have the team call. It's at 9. And again, we're just going through the Success Club form, but I'm going to give you guys like a really in-depth of how I break it down of what to do within every single box of the Success Club. So hopefully I'll see you guys on there and we can all go watch everyone's stories on the cruise in between. All right, guys, we'll see you soon.